Hello again, everyone. Charles Walhigford back again with another Watch Talk. And this Watch Talk is about the changing times. Changing times in the sense of style. What we wear these days is not what is considered dress or formal in the days past. I was having a conversation, really an argument with one of my viewers. Now, understand this. This argument was it was a conversation with two intelligent people bringing forth different ideas and facts. That's what it was. The whole purpose of that argument was to get smarter. And that is exactly how it should be done on all these sites, all these channels, and everything else. We don't have to tear each other down to get our point across and bring forth more intelligence. Whenever you get in an argument, you should always try to be smarter from it. If you're right, if you're wrong. And from that argument, even though I wouldn't say one of us is wrong or right, I would say both of us are smarter because of it. It was actually my one of my viewers, I don't know how to say it properly, but I want to give him his due. It's DHSILV2. And in that video, where this came from, it was about the Grand Seiko high beat, and one of the individuals, a third party, was saying or wondering why there's no lume on that watch, and I was saying that watch is a dress watch. It's a dress watch anyway. All these watches are dress watches, and GHSILV2 was saying no, it's not a dress watch. It is clearly a sports watch, and I didn't understand why he would think that. Number one, I don't know why this would be considered a sports watch, because a sports watch has something it's for a particular sport. Even if it's no longer serving that duty, it was made for a certain sport. I don't know what sport, and I looked all through the Grand Seiko website and my literature that was given to me from Little Treasury Jewelers in Campbell's, Maryland. All that literature didn't say anything about a particular sport. I believe he was making an inference from what his prior watch knowledge would tell him that that's a sport watch, but I would say that's not a sport watch. And he even added details and what he called rules of what a sport watch, or no, excuse me, what a dress watch would have, and naturally a sport watch would have the opposite. So hell, I'll read these to you what he had. The first thing, a dress watch should be thin. The whole purpose of a dress watch, being thin, it's much easier to slide under the sleeve cuff, and it looks better formally rather than have a big bulky watch hanging outside of your cuff. Next, he said 3 hands. That's it. That's the max. 3 hands. A sport watch does not have more than 3 hands. No date. A sport watch has dates. Dress watches don't. Did I say a sport watch before? Number 2. A dress watch has 3 hands. I want to make sure I say that right. A dress watch has 3 hands. That's number 2. Number 4, it should be a neutral color, and preferably white, but black and dark off colors could be used. For formal, it should be white. I don't know about that one. Most of the time, the nicer watches tend to have either white or black or variations, sometimes silver and things like that. Well, honestly, I like the other materials, like the meteorite, I think it's Gambian meteorite. That's very, very dressy when you have that on your dial. And a lot of times, Rolex has a lot of different variations of their dial, and they're supposed to be, well, maybe to him they're supposed to be sport watches. Let me move on. And he also added that it should not have a steel bracelet. My argument to that is there's tons of watches out there that are contrary to that. Tons of them. So I'm not sure what rules they are or where he got these rules from. I'm not sure about his background. But I can understand those seem like they would be right. But I argue that they're not right anymore. These days, that is not the case. That is not the case, I can't say whatsoever, but I have there's plenty of examples of the contrary to what he's talking about. All right, here, I'll give you a perfect example. A perfect example is the Jaeger LeCoultre Reverso. The Jaeger LeCoultre Reverso, nobody regards that as a dress watch, as a sport watch, unless you know about watches. Now, if you're not familiar with that watch, you definitely need to get on board and learn about that watch. That is one of the major watches that watch collectors know about. It's just one of those watches, just like the Speedmaster, just like the Submariner, just like the Date Just. You need to know that. Just like the Navitimer. There's some basic watches out there. If you don't know about the Jaeger LeCoultre Reverso, and I'm not going to be that person say you better find out. No, I'm going to teach you a little bit about that watch. That watch has a feature that allows the face and the case to flip around so that it will not get damaged. Not get damaged from polo. That watch was specifically designed for polo players to not damage that great watch by flipping that crystal around, that dial around, that case around, so it would not get damaged. It was made for a particular sport, and that watch goes against what he said. That's supposed to be a sport watch. It doesn't have a date. It usually doesn't have more than 3 hands. The basic, like the what I have here written down, the classic or the grand. They don't have those sport watch features, and they have those dress watch features that he's explaining. Perfect example. And I have a perfect example to the contrary. To the contrary, there is the Longines Master Collection Retrograde Quad. That watch is a rather large watch. It's thicker. It's at 15 millimeters of height, and it's 41 millimeters. It fits under the sleeve. I did a review on that video. It fits under the sleeve, not as well as the Reverso because it's so much thinner, but it fits under the sleeve. But it has quite a few hands. It's a retrograde with the date, the day, and all those other cool things on that watch. It has multiple hands. That's clearly a dress watch, though. Let me again reiterate on a video I talked about before. These days, just like anything else, as time goes on, you're going to have different styles, and styles repeat themselves. One of the things he explained that formal watches or watches are bigger nowadays, but that's still wrong. I can't, no, not necessarily, because pocket watches, all they did to change the pocket watch from a wristwatch in the early days was they had their jeweler manufacture or fabricate lugs or cases that allow their pocket watch to go on their wrist. And those things were huge. They were absolutely huge. Speaking of huge, Charles Lindbergh, his Longines, that was around 46, 48 millimeters. Hey guys, that's just the times. Another thing he talked about was a Submariner or a Speedmaster doesn't look good in a suit. I know quite a few guys out there would highly disagree with him, but one of the biggest watch icons of all time, even though it's a fantasy or not a real person, James Bond. James Bond always wears a suit in his movies, and he's always wearing a sport watch. Always. Almost every time he's wearing a sport watch, and most of the time, what is he wearing? Though he's not wearing a Speedmaster, he's wearing a Seamaster or a Rolex Submariner, and he doesn't look out of place. Of all the people who mean or who represent buttoned up style, formal style, James Bond does it. He does it in almost every single one of his videos. Now, here's another thing I want to hit on, and this conversation doesn't mean that, again, that DHSILV2 is wrong. It just means the times have changed, and as the times have changed, I don't like some of the styles that are in commonplace now. And I want to talk about this too. This is like a slight tangent, but I want to bring this out to bring home that a sport watch can be dressed. Today, it is not unusual to have sneakers or to pair sneakers in a suit. Do I like this style? Absolutely not. But this is a style that is in commonplace right now. It's such a serious style that high-end designers are making these dress, I guess, sneakers, luxury sneakers. They're not meant to slam dunk on anybody. They're not meant to run faster. They're meant to be in a casual or even dress situation. Again, I don't like this style, but this is the style. This is the times. Times change, and that's some of the time. That's what takes place. These are the things that take place. That's why a sport watch can be a dress watch. All right, guys, that's the video. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment, hit the like button, share. If you're new, hey, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Don't forget to subscribe. And this video could not have taken place without viewers like you, and again, DHSILV2. It couldn't have taken place without him. Thank you so much for commenting on my video. I want to just express my gratitude for all the people who've been watching me. Please keep watching me, and I'm going to keep making great videos thanks to you. I'm Charles Walhigford. These watches I talked about, but how I would spend my money. I will not be buying high-end sneakers. I'll be buying high-end Scotch though.